Say that again.
Call to order.
All right.
Approval of minutes.
I can make a motion to approve.
It's Angel, I'll second.
We have a visitor?
Nope.
Okay, old business. Back to parking spaces.
Do you want to wait for Steve on the parking spaces?
Sure.
Okay, so I can pop ahead to rooftop lighting, Mr. Chairman. Unless it's a rainy day. So we have Holland, I want to confirm Stride, I got a bill that they came to repair the sagging lights on the side of the building at your building. So they did connect with you?
They connected with me. I pointed it out. I went back to work. I never checked it. It's pouring down rain. Let's assume yes. Otherwise,
Okay.
you'll hear from me.
No problem. But please let me
Sorry.
know. Not a problem. Angel, I did drive by a few nights back and I shot you an email and you may not have seen it, but your lights were off on your building in the evening. Is that something that you would want us to have them check out, or is it just a switch inside you guys have thrown?
That I did get it and I'm sorry that I didn't respond. Let me find out. And that's what I meant to do. The person who would know whatever happened, he wasn't there that day you sent it to me and I just forgot about it, to be honest with you.
Okay. Not a problem.
The other thing is, I guess we can, and I just thought about this after thinking about Holland, is that the wellness center down the street. I guess we should consider getting them on the list.
The wellness center that you own, the building, that building
Yeah.
on the end,
Yeah,
we certainly have that availability if you guys, if the commission wants to do that, we can do that. So we can have it
okay.
priced.
Okay, I'll get all the answers today. I'll find out from Rob if something got thrown up there and then I'll shoot you an email back on everything. How's that?
Sounds good. And so anyone
Okay.
knows, as we deal with Stride, our salesman, which is fine. We have a dedicated salesman. He and I have talked on the phone multiple times now. And so they have been more responsive and have picked up the slack, in my opinion. And so I'm feeling better about them moving forward on things. Hopefully they're with John Barr right now. That's my hope, why he's not with us. But his name is Matt Deems, Deems. And so if you ever get an email from me with Mr. Deems on it, I'll explain who he is, but that is the connection at Stride, the person who would be estimating and getting folks out to work on our buildings. So that's rooftop lighting. Obviously John Barr and the south side. I noticed the north side has been off some nights. Am I just catching it the wrong time? Are they on?
Should be on. We don't
Okay.
have a switch to turn them
Okay,
on and
it
off,
just dies, right? Just the electric eye?
I
The
guess.
sun, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll take a
I-
stroll through.
I'll have to glance up there again.
I've seen yours on, but then the other side, like farther down over Emos and Vulcan and that section. So
Okay.
we'll take a peek. If it needs work, we'll get it scheduled.
We'll skip the parking if
Okay.
he doesn't join, so, because we don't have anything to add to that, I don't think, so. New business,
We don't have any new business.
wow. BDC update?
BDC update. So the BDC did, and we'll have Fran send this out now that it's official to all the business districts, make a proposal to the council to create a business liaison position here at the city. And so that proposal is simply just a recommendation and a proposal to improve communication connectivity, not just communication like Jen Starkey's world, but direct business related issues, and then also work with landlord tenant issues, in terms of filling vacant space. Some of the conversations I think BDC has had long even before I got here. And so we had a good conversation at a special meeting on Friday, finalizing that proposal is out. And so we'll have Fran send it around to everyone so you can see it. It would be, the big if is if it's funded, right, through the council and the budget process. And certainly that's a big if, right? But, there will be a moment when the council discusses that. We'll make sure you're all aware of that. Obviously, BDC would be there to speak to it, but the business districts as well, since it would help do a lot of the work that is done.
Anything else, BDC? Nope.
Not BDC.
How about city update?
Oh, there's just a few things on city update. Councilmember Smith is looking at me. I just want to, before I throw it back to him, we did send the business license report out. Did that get out?
Yes.
So I'm just sending that right out to you so you can see as we get it, who has filed a business license. So you'll just get that report. It's also on our website. If you ever go there to where to apply for a business permit, you'll see all those reports posted. Before I kick it over to the council member, I just wanted to update you all that with the council will be seated on the 19th on Tuesday. Next Tuesday, the new council will be seated. I do expect in early May for the council, in whatever way the council decides, to reassign the council liaison. So Mr. Smith in his role. So I would expect at our next meeting likely to have a new council member that will be the liaison between the council to the group. Maybe not, maybe Mr. Smith stays, but he really likes y'all. So, but I do expect that process to filter out. So that I'll leave it there and turn it over to the council member and then Officer Razul if he has anything outside of our parking space update.
Thanks, Eric. Nothing really to bring, but I do want to mention to the group. Like Eric mentioned, that we will be seating a new council on the 19th, and I believe that our direction will be aggressive and progressive. Really want to be more than just liaison to the group, to be an advocate for things that you need in order to operate successfully. So feel free to shoot any ideas or any concerns that you might have so I can bring them to the council. Sometimes the liaison can be a lazy position if you don't be active within the group. So not that I'm going to give you any type of ideas and suggestions on how you do your business or how you run your commission, but I do want to be in the know and be able to say, be an advocate for your group. So that's all I got, Eric.
All right.
Great.
Officer Razul, anything from parking?
No, I don't have anything.
The one final city update, Bob, that I have is sort of related to parking. We have put together an email. We've talked about this with Old Webster quite often and issues around curbside parking sort of morphing and expanding. And we've been very lax on all the parking with COVID, obviously, right? Well, that time has to come to an end sooner or later. But there is going to be a need for some curbside is now here and it's becoming, a thing, right? And so for a lot of places without parking spaces, what I'm likely going to do is try to pull together across at least Old Webster and Old Orchard, some restaurant type meetings, some business meetings about, what are the spaces that need to be set and designated 15 minutes, versus the 2-hour type of spot. So that's not an official commission, piece for you all, but you'll all get an invitation for that because while we need to get back to regular or normal in some way, we don't have those designated spots outside in front of restaurants. And if restaurants choose to sort of block them open, well, then now they're running afoul of the ordinance. So we're trying to right size the regulation to what we've become accustomed to. So, okay. And Steve is here. Speaking of 15-minute parking. So, Steve is coming on. Steve, you're here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
We skipped over the parking stuff for you to do.
Okay.
So
I
if
did
you
get-
have any input.
Yeah, I do have some input. I talked to both like Subway and the diner next door to me. And he was actually open. He really liked the idea of like 30-minute parking versus 1 hour. Because he thought it'd make his tables move a little bit faster. So it seemed like 30 minutes was like the sweet spot. Like, so instead of like 2-hour parking or 1 hour parking, I thought 30-minute might be that's just based on what they were saying. And most people come into the pharmacy, they're in and out and less than that anyway. So that's not a big deal for me. But yeah, no, I thought, they liked the idea of the parking and like shortening the parking times. So I don't think that you'll hear any, they weren't disgruntled by it at all. I think as far as like the parking for the extra handicap parking space, I mean, I think the best spot would be like maybe in but then you're putting it in front of Starbucks. So I don't know. That's a tough one for me. I mean, I think there's only one spot behind that crosswalk, and there's no point in putting two handicap spots right on the crosswalk. So what my pharmacy is those two white vehicles probably are the best spots unless you wanted to put them in the parking lot. But for a chiropractor and for me, that's a pretty far walk if you're handicapped. Unless you put like one more in front of, over there where your mouse is. We're not there, but like maybe actually in the parking lot. I think farther down, that's going to be like, I don't know if you put one right there, like that first spot in, there possibly. That way you're not tying up another spot on the road.
So Steve, I'm not trying to short circuit that conversation, but ultimately the parking within the lot is Webster U's decision. So.
Okay, well, let's leave that alone then.
Yeah, so
Let's
I
not
mean,
mess with it. Okay.
but as the owner, but I mean, on the street, certainly, I think right now, Officer Razul, is this the handicap where I'm at right here?
The one behind.
No, the one
This one here's the
behind it.
handicap. So I think we
Yeah.
had talked about if the potential of the car in front of that being the second handicap, like I'm thinking of traffic standards, is that too far for a wheelchair bound person or such to achieve the sidewalk?
It should be fine. I mean, it's
Okay.
only maybe 10 feet.
Okay, so, and then Steve, you were saying about 30-minute parking, which most of this street, other than, I believe that this is all 2 hour here, right, officer?
Yes.
So are you talking about 30 minutes on one side, the entire street? What were those conversations?
I didn't think that far ahead. I don't know if it'd be easier. I mean, I'm sure people in the park, might be there longer than 2 hours. So, I mean, I think business hours, though, I think for most of the businesses over there, seems like 30 minutes would be adequate. I'm kind of going off of what the
Sure.
Boardwalk Cafe said, because I'm assuming that's the one business I definitely don't want to hurt. You have Subway there. They're going to be more of a lunch and dinner. I mean, Boardwalk Cafe is there. And that's, every morning, this is what it looks like. When I get there by 9 o'clock, it's going to be like this again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a 30-minute parking spot would just mean that he can serve more people. And then you're still getting more people in it. I mean, most people aren't going to Starbucks for more than a half an hour, and if they are, they're going to go in the parking lot. So, you see a lot of older people that park in the parking lot and then they go walk over to Boardwalk Cafe.
Mhm.
So I guess, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, would 30 minutes be adequate for everybody or just at one side of the street?
Officer, let me turn to Officer Razul and get our professional opinion here as you all.
There you
think
go.
about that.
I don't know if it's gonna be professional, but Steve, so I have a question. I know in a few meetings, you keep bringing up parking in that spot. I'm still kind of confused. What are you really asking? If that makes any sense, because
All
you
I'm asking
originally
for is-
started with 15-minute parking and then handicap,
Oh,
and then now
okay.
you want an hour. Please don't take it the wrong way. I'm just trying to figure out what are you actually asking?
so all I really need is an extra handicap parking spot. Whether you guys change your time or not on the rest of the parking, that's up to you guys. But since we were talking about that, because a lot of times that one handicap spot is full. I mean, it's full in this picture. It's fairly full most of the time. Becomes the issue. All I really need is a second handicap spot. The rest of the time changes, that's up to everybody else. I mean, I don't really need anything else besides an extra handicap spot.
So we can certainly accommodate that and leave it open, though. If the commission does want to recommend other time changes, we can bring that forward for you as well. So.
That's fine.
And much say in it.
I don't have to make that decision. Like I don't want to make that decision for everybody else. We had brought it up and
Right.
John had asked me to reach out to other business owners to make sure it wasn't going to be impeding. Like I said, it doesn't change anything to me whether it's a half an hour or an hour parking. I talked to the old Orchard, that little cafe, the Boardwalk Cafe. They said half an hour. Really, between myself and the chiropractor, one handicap spot is just not enough.
Who puts the second handicap spot in? How do we
That's up to
recommend
the
it?
city.
Yeah, we order the signs and have it.
Oh,
Yeah, so.
I don't
I'll
think-
just leave it at that. I mean, I don't need anything
Getting
else. I mean,
electricity.
honestly, I don't really need anything else other than that. like I said, you might improve, the turnover and people going in and out of the businesses with a half an hour parking, based on what everybody's using. But, I don't need that. That doesn't really affect me one way or the other.
All right,
So not hearing anyone, I'm assuming then, we can move to another handicap spot, but there's no commission desire to make a recommendation about time changes. I just want to make sure, we've talked about it for a few months, so we don't. close
Yeah,
the
I would
issue.
I'd just close that issue and move on. I mean, there's other issues that are bigger issues. I think the biggest thing was just getting a second handicap space.
All right,
all right. That's it. So, next meeting, May 10th,
May 10th.
motion for adjourn.
I,
I'll second that.
Debbie.
All in favor?
All in favor?
All right.
I.
It's great. 18-minute meeting. Thank you all.
We were gonna go
Wow.
for a new record until Steve came back.
I love it. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Thank you.